Hello and welcome, or welcome back. I'm Nicole, a cottage witch, and I'm going to do a bit of an at present today with just the tarot I've used, the books I've read, and some of the arts and crafts I've been working on lately. I think it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I last did one of these, so there's a bit to catch up on. One of the tarot, no, this is the Oracle deck. There's a Sacred Bee Tarot and Oracle, and I have both, but I got the Oracle out because it's finally properly spring here. We had about 5 or 6 fake springs and it kept snowing, and now within like 2 weeks everything looks like midsummer. So spring was very short, and it's sweltering today, and we're supposed to have a thunderstorm. We've been supposed to have a thunderstorm since Wednesday. That's like 5 days. 4 days? I can't count. Okay, 4 days. And they keep pushing it back. And it's just sweltering, so we need some rain here. But anyway, the point being, it's summer, finally. I would have preferred spring, but I'll take summer over snow at this point in the year. So, what is it? Is it still May? It's still technically May. I think it's the last day of May. Maybe tomorrow's the last day of May. I have no idea what day of the week it is. But it did snow in May. It was storming like 2 weeks ago. That was very exciting. So we sort of skipped spring and went right to summer. And so this is the tarot deck of plants that I just made for me, of plants that I work with and they grow around here. So this is from a tree outside my apartment, thyme on my balcony, that sort of thing. Goldenrod down by the river. So that's what I've been using most of this week, because it's got a proper summer feeling to it. I did get the butterfly deck by this same creator, but I haven't used it yet because I got it and it was still winter. So really love cedar. Anyway, that's those two. But I will get the butterfly deck out. I'm feeling a bit scattered today, so it may be a bit disorganized. We'll see. Then the other 2 decks I've been using are, if I can not make a mess, the Oracle of Oddities. So this was for the, 5 minutes of spring that I got this out, and then I was using the Da Vinci Enigma deck, which I'd never used before, but Rose Bay was using it a lot. In a Discord, and so I thought, well, I'll give it a go. That's hilarious. And it is gorgeous. I mean, of course the artwork is beautiful, that was a given, but it works beautifully as well. I love it. Yeah, I don't know why I had it for 2 years and never used it. I'd gotten it from a secondhand book sale on a whim and thought, yeah, okay. And then it sat on my shelf waiting for the spring, apparently. Anyway, I really love it a lot. So I've been, enjoying that. It's really well made, I think. Like, the images really go well with what it's trying to communicate. So yeah, that's my tarot situation at the moment. And there's a siren. Excellent. Hopefully everybody's okay. Okay, so that is, let me just shove those tarot decks out. Whoops, I've got art supplies all over my desk too. I was doing a couple art Patreon videos that I was following along to, and then right in the middle of one, which I'll show you in a bit, I stopped and was like, I forgot to do this today. I should do this today. And then I sat there for 5 minutes trying to figure out what I should do. Should I go have a shower tonight? Should I clean my garden? Should I do this video? Should I keep working on the frogs that I was drawing? It was the most ridiculous internal conversation. So that's exciting. So books. I reread The Story of Art Without Men by Katie Hessel, which is brilliant, and I will have to buy that book because I got it from the library as an audiobook, and I listened to it twice now. And the whole time, both times, I just spend the entire time Googling people. It's so good. And there's so many women who, even if they were successful and well regarded in their lifetimes, were just not ever written into the art history books because the people who wrote those were like, only men can do this, right? Right? No. So this was sort of a correction to the historical record. And it's amazing. I finished Le Maître Diable by George Sand, The Devil's Pool. It was cute, I guess, sort of. I mean, from a modern perspective, he's much older than she is, and she's still technically a kid, although at that time she was like responsible for her own, like she was looking for a job and everything. So I don't know. It was a bit weird to read from a modern perspective, I guess. I think it's called a pastoral novel. So it was very like traveling through the countryside. And I didn't mind it. It wasn't, mind-blowing or anything, but it was good. The Defector by Chris Hadfield I listened to as an audiobook because I forgot I had the hard copy. But then the library audiobook finally came in. I think he's got a third one coming out this year somewhere, end of last year. I can't remember. Anyway, he's an astronaut, a Canadian astronaut, who was also a fighter pilot. So the first book is The Apollo Murders, which is set partly in space, with the Apollo, a fictionalized sort of world where the Apollo 18 launch happened. And then this is about a fighter pilot who, as you may guess from the title, is a defector. I don't think that's really a spoiler. You find that out pretty quick. It's really fun. I don't know. It's just, fun times. Good book. I liked it. I'll read the third one. Then I read National Portrait Gallery's Insights, here, the self-portrait book by Liz Riddell. She's written some other books that I kind of am curious about, mostly about women and self-portraits. This was just generally self-portraits that are in the National Portrait Gallery. And I mean, it was also okay. It was good. Everything this week was sort of like, or everything that I've read the last little while was like good. Not amazing, but certainly not bad, but like just good. I'm glad I read it. Would I reread it? Probably not. But I'm glad I read them the first time, that sort of thing. So it's got it's got a sort of little blurb for several chapters, but they're very short chapters. And then it spends some time just with the actual self-portraits. So this is chapter 2. So it's got a little 2 or 3 pages. And then it's just got a bunch of sort of examples of what that chapter is talking about, with little blurbs about what the artist was trying to do. So that was kind of interesting. And then it just sort of stopped at the end. Got to the end and it was like, oh, that's the end now. Okay. Like, this is the last page. Sure, fine. I did look a few people up. It was pretty interesting. So yeah, those are the books I read. I did get a couple. I was volunteering at a book sale that's a fundraiser, one of these fundraising book sales, and it's gigantic and in a curling arena. And so there are, I don't know, 200,000 books that they sell every year, something like that. And this is one that I got. This is a Canadian artist that I've never heard of, called J.E.H. MacDonald. This is a sketchbook for a few years, and he's got a lot. I mean, the people are kind of okay. The plants is what caught my attention, though. Like, that's okay. This I like. Not quite sure. Oh, that's a boat. Okay. Took me a second. I like this tree. So there's just some things in here that caught my attention. I like some of the landscaping notes and stuff that he was doing. So yeah, I'll sort of have to look up. I really like these leaves. Some of his finished work and see how it compares, but yeah, that is that. I got a book called The Dehumanization of Art and Other Essays on Art, Culture, and Literature by somebody who apparently is a quite well-known philosopher who talks about art a lot. And so he was talking about making that when art becomes more understandable to the public, and also non-representational art, which is harder to understand for the public, and what that does. And I'm really curious about this because he wrote it in like 1925, so like 100 years before AI, which is not art. I could go on a whole rant about AI and the fact that it's, they're building data centers in Alberta while we have a water crisis, and oh my god, it's so like, we have a wildfire season. How is this helpful? It isn't. Driving me nuts. Anyway, I wanted to read this because I thought, like, people are making what they call art, and I don't call art, with AI. But the title, just, 20 years later, almost to the year of the rise of AI art, in heavy quotation marks, just caught my attention. So, yeah, curious about that. Then I got this. This is an old book called Drawings of the Masters, Italian Drawings from the 15th to 19th centuries. And it's just exactly what it sounds like. It's just, I haven't read the text. There is some text. There's a bunch of drawings, though. Like, just a whole bunch. Some of them, this doesn't seem to have an artist to attribute it to. Some of these artists I've never heard of. I mean, the Da Vinci's and Botticelli's obviously I've heard of, but Lorenzo I've heard of. But this guy I hadn't heard of, this Verrocchio. And there's some interesting things in here. Yeah, that's Botticelli. But this guy I hadn't heard of. So yeah, it's a fun book of, that's not so cheerful. Drawings by all sorts of artists. This time I really like this one. This is on the cover, this Two Turkish Women by Carpaccio. I don't know if any women ever actually wore this situation, or if he just like imagined it. But I really like how he did the fabric and the drapes and everything with the highlights and the white chalk. It's beautiful. What else is in here? This one, the fabric looks a bit, I don't know, starched or something. It's still pretty. Not saying I could do it better or anything, because certainly Lord knows I couldn't. Titian? I don't know if that's how you say his name. Anyway, I like this landscape. It's mostly figures in here, but there are a few other odds and ends. And some artists that I'm gonna have to look up a little bit. That's Da Vinci. More Da Vinci. More Da Vinci. This is one of my favorite things of his. So I love the sort of spirals there. The line work is just so beautiful. What's this? Yeah, silver point. Which I have no interest in doing, but he did try a lot of drawing methods. On which note, I also got from the library, so I got an audiobook of the biography by Walter Isaacson, but then it referenced a bunch of stuff, so I got this from the library so I could listen to it and then look at the, where am I here? So as he's going through certain chapters, this is the one on grotesques and whatnot. Oh, YouTube might not like that. Probably won't like the Vitruvian Man either. Nope. Skipping that horse monument that didn't happen. Some science stuff that he was teaching himself. He kind of had an inkling about some of what became Newton's theories 200 years later. Like, he was really, I mean, I know it's obvious to say he was a really smart man, but good Lord. Some of the things he'd figured out in the 1500s. Anyway, the point is, I got this so that I could know which images that he was talking about as he was going along. And then I also got this, A Life in Drawing. So I know he's known for his paintings, but he did a bunch of other stuff. He did some theater stuff, which is very cool. I have to find one. He did a theater backdrop with the zodiac and the planets and everything. I want to find an image of that if it exists. I don't know if it exists. It might just exist in descriptions. Anyway, Here are a bunch of other drawings. I'm at the landscapes here, so I've got that bookmarked. Maps. He drew a bunch of maps. Oops, can't show that on YouTube. I like this ravine that he drew. It's sort of like the grotto. He's got a Madonna and Child that has those sorts of rocks. And then this drapery I really like. This one, in fact, with all these rocks. So it might have been a study for that, I guess. Anyway, that's a lot of fun and keeping me occupied lately. Now, arts and crafts. I finished this sketchbook. Oh, that's terrible. Skipping that one. I've shown that before. I've shown that before. I did another Emma Carlisle Patreon of Waiting Birds. I can't remember if I showed this. But she just puts a bird image up on the screen for a few minutes, or sometimes just a minute. I think these were probably a few minutes. And then I did one of my brother's dog after that. So that sketchbook is full now. And then I did, where's my other sketchbook? One moment. Okay, I'm back. I forgot a sketchbook in the other room because I'm so well prepared. Okay, have I shown anything in this one? Oh, that's not a very good picture. This is more of the birds. Just mucking about. Oh yeah, I have to get paper to put between the pages. This was a play session that she's got on her Patreon where you just layer things up and then see how they go on top of each other. That was pretty fun. This was from today. This was her 6th Patreon birthday. And it looks like there's something wrong with his arm there, but that's supposed to be a sleeve, so ignore that. But she had a bunch of like celebration pictures from, I think, her brother's birthday or something, which we used. And these were the warm-up sketches, and I kind of like them. And then the one I interrupted to record this video was the Fast Frogs replay. Because I've been wanting to do that one. I missed it. I joined your Patreon after that happened. So these were all the 1-minute frogs. So we'll get back to this after I'm done recording this. And then, what else? I've done some portraits lately. Did I show this last time? I may have. I got some pan pastels, so I was playing with trying to blend skin colors. I have to go get a couple more, but I'll do that later this summer probably. This one I really like. This was a woman called Jessica, and I just did this in pencil. And then the bleed through is from this, which I really like. I did this yesterday. This is another Jar Brighton replay. I think she posed them each for 45 minutes, and I didn't spend that amount of time on them. But I really like them. I particularly like this one. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like as I was doing it, I felt more like confident in what I was doing. Like I actually could figure out how to draw a hand. What? And then I did this from Emma Carlisle's Patreon today again, and they look hilarious. So I'm not used to drawing faces at this size with this was just a pencil crayon. So you can't really get very much detail, and I made her look. She's really a very pretty woman in real life, so whoever this person is, I don't know. But she does not look like this. So I drew her again, and still it doesn't. It's not a likeness. It was just fun trying to, draw things in a way that I hadn't before. Stretch myself and all that. This person had on the wildest shirt, which was fun to do, and glasses, and then lightning bolt earrings. And then so I had to draw them again. From one of the other images. I just drew this part of the image, just this one person, because they had like this orange plaid checked sort of outfit with this absolutely wild jacket on top. So that was fun. So yeah, that's that one. And then I've done some landscape stuff. So I took this out to, what have I shown you? Probably I've shown you this, I think, maybe. This is just a prepped background. Yeah, I showed you that last time. That's in town. I'll that I walked to. That's a wild prepped background. This, I can't remember if I showed you. I might not have. It's a beaver lodge it's right downtown in a park in the middle of the city, so you can hear the traffic drive by. There's a road in there. Quite a busy road. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed doing that one. This was a park near me, and I'd prepped some pages with some just blue splotches, and I thought it would be fun to do the texture of the leaves with the sky through. This, I went to a, whatchamacallit. Oh, I forgot my other sketchbook. One second. Some days I'm really well organized, and then some days I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. So I went to plant rescue, which I've done before. Did I show these? I'll go back to those. Anyway, there's this site where it's all ranch land, sort of like a combination of a lot of native plants plus random hay everywhere, and grasses that aren't supposed to be there, and the occasional thistle. I saw a bunch of birds there that I never see in town, like meadowlarks and herons and all sorts, because there's a river back through there. But this part of the land had been bulldozed already, so they take, like, when they build suburbs on the prairies, they probably do this in a lot of places, they just bulldoze great swaths of land, like have this giant earth moving machine that looks the size of a tank and just rips up the whole, like, 2 feet of dirt. So, like, I don't know what they do with it, because all the topsoil's gone and all the plants are gone. So anyway, we went and rescued some of the plants, and I doodled some of them. There was some snowberry and some sagebrush, and then what else? Oh yeah, the prairie yellow peas were in bloom. That was fun. The yarrow was just starting to pop up. Tumbleweeds were everywhere. Goldenrod had not started blooming yet. I mean, it started growing, but this was an old seed pod thing. Just a quick sketch. I'll get to that later. So I did a bunch of versions of this with the prairie yellow peas and the mountains in the background, because where I live in town, I don't really see the mountains, but from here you can see them really clearly. So that was fun. And then I was it's the first time I'd ever gone out like this with people around and whatever. So I was a little self-conscious, probably a little tentative. So then I did another one that was a bit wilder from home, and that was fun. And then I did a couple more just experimenting, a bit more abstract and just experimenting with materials and layering up. That's just more prepped pages. Yeah, so that's all just prepped pages in there. And then I did, okay, what's anything interesting in here? Evidence of beavers. Yes, I think I probably showed these before. Sorry, as I flip through my messy sketchbook. Oh, that's a mess. Lovely. Okay. Oh yeah, I was trying to draw. Okay, so that's just part of the city. This is abysmal, but I was trying to draw this particular section of a park. This one I like. This is a water-soluble pencil, so this one I just used as a regular pencil, and then I added water to this side, which was quite fun. So I was trying to get a feeling of the foliage, but with a pen, I made a hot mess. So that's hideous. This one I like better, a bit smudgier. This one I like a bit better, with the only details being right in the front pretty well. And then I went out today and did some geese and squirrels, and oh yeah, I saw a kingfisher for the first time darting through the air. That was fun. This was in a park near me. I was trying to practice drawing the buildings alongside the trees, because I'm not very good at drawing buildings. This was a funny perspective. I was on a bench looking down here at this building, so this lamp was right in front of my face, basically. So yeah, it looks a little weird, but that's a an old Masonic temple of all things, and I have no idea what that building is. And then this, a couple some apartment buildings and a medical center. So yeah, that was an interesting adventure today. Is that all I've done in here? Yeah, okay. And then the last things I did were on some loose paper. Well, come on, yes, everything. Yeah, that one, these were the same. Oh, I'm making such a mess. Which way is up? This way is up. That same area where I was trying to get the feeling of the foliage, I just came home and made a mess of textures and greens on a paper, like just of a few materials and all the different textures that I could possibly get from them, which was really good fun. I love this one. And then I did this one too, sort of same thing. Started with, I think, ink in the background, and then did a mess of textures and made a spruce tree, and yeah, really like those ones a lot. And then this is the last one. This I started earlier in the spring before everything turned green. And down by the river there are a lot of red Osier dogwood bushes, and I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're actually really red. The branches in the winter especially are really, really intensely red. Yeah, so, and then this was just sitting on a music stand over there, and it was just sitting on there for like 2 weeks waiting for me to decide what to do with it. So I put the fence in front, and then I added this darker blue because the sky was just too boring. So now it is less boring, I think. So yeah, quite like that one. I think when they say pastel paper, they do not mean oil pastel, because the oil seeped through the edges here, but oh well. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go, so what the heck. Anyway, that's been my last month. Lots of business and volunteering, and doing some couple jobs at the opera and the book sale. So it kept me busy, but I got a surprising amount of things done despite that. And yeah, so I think that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.